ṣe find ìwé rẹ̀ báwo ló ṣe di ẹni tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní government hospital for that matter ó wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní government hospital as a medical doctor that calls for a whole lot of sober reflection ní image of bá a ti ṣe portray Nigeria ibi tá a gbé Nigeria dé and I as an individual I know that that man will have gotten to that place through nepotism, favorism, tribalism and so on and so forth. Everything that we practice in Nigeria against the protocol is bouncing back on us. Lately, this thing happened in a government hospital. A girl, a 400 level student who is a virgin, she has kept herself, she has said to herself that yes, she's not going to give her body to a man that she does not love. This girl fell sick. She went to the hospital only for her to be defiled by this monster, so-called doctor, a fake doctor who was later discovered to be a sanitation officer. He went to School of Hygiene, Eleyele Ibadan, for OND. He had an OND in public health. In other words, he's a wole. Báwo ló ṣe find the way into a government hospital? Àwọn private hospitals, àwọn la mọ̀ tó máa ń kún fún a lot of quack nurses and doctors, auxiliary nurses, wọ́n máa ń pọ̀ ní àwọn private hospital. But unfortunately, this is a government hospital and this is a girl that has kept herself in this corrupt world, only for her to get to the final year and to be defiled by a monster who is supposed to be a sanitation officer. He finds himself into a government hospital in Kwara State, and he is working there in the capacity of a medical doctor. It takes 7 good years to graduate as a medical student. But you spent 18 months for OND. You're supposed to be a sanitation officer. How did you find your way into a government hospital for that matter, only for you to be administering injection, drugs and medication for patients? Báwo ló ṣe find the way síbẹ̀? It means that he must have gotten there through some means that is illegal. Not that one alone. He gave this girl a drug that will make her to sleep. He drugged this girl, defied her. At the end of the day, he was still sending people to threaten this girl, only for her to have her way into Alhaji Oriyomi's program, and the case was well handled. So I am doing this show for us to share tag the targables and let it get to the Minister for Health, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all the commissioners in all the 36 states. Let them go and screen all the staff that has been employed for the past 20 years. There are a whole lot of people who are not competent, who are quacks, those who do not even have certificates. They are there working as who they are not. They are impersonating. They are doing what they are not qualified to do. When anybody fell sick, we refer them to the hospital, only for them to get to the hospital to go and meet a monster who is not qualified. This is is an unfortunate case. And I watched that video. I could not hold myself, because I know what it means to wait. I waited for decades. This girl has waited, kept herself, only for her to be defiled by a monster who is a sanitation officer. He finds his way into the government hospital because of a whole lot of things that are going in disarray in Nigeria. So for how long are we going to wait and wait and wait, everything going in disarray? When we refuse to say this out and create awareness on this thing, a lot of people who are not qualified, they will continue to work in the capacity of medical doctors, putting an end to the life of people. This is a girl who is so decent. This is a girl who has decided to keep herself and say to herself that she's not going to give her body to a man she didn't love. It takes God's grace to wait. And she waited only for her to be defiled by this monster. That is the reason why I tagged this show in form of a question, that how did a sanitation officer get his way or finds his way into a government hospital only to be working there as a medical doctor? That is a slap on the face of the health sector of Federal Republic of Nigeria. So we are saying this, we are calling out all the people that are concerned, because I discovered that ever since this thing has happened, a whole lot of people, they've been talking about Imisi, talking about one woman that she and her daughter were fighting, and all these cases were not even, addressed. How will a sanitation officer, Mama Luther, thank you, I expect you to stage a show for this case. I expect you to stage the show for case yìí. How will a sanitation officer be working in a government hospital, for that matter, as a medical doctor? Personally, before I lie down and allow anybody to inject me, I will ask of your qualification and the school you graduated from. It is your right as a patient to know the qualification of the doctor that will attend to you. I'm going to play the video right now. Everybody will listen and hear it. This is a young girl who has decided to live a decent life, who has decided to wait on the Lord, who has decided not to mingle herself to the corrupt ones in this world, and she fell sick. Sickness can be on anybody. She went to the hospital. Unfortunately, the people who are there as the overseers of the hospital, they must have known the qualification of this monster. His name is Oyeniyi Kayode. They would have known that this Oyeniyi Kayode is not a medical doctor. They would have known, but they kept quiet, and they were looking at him, functioning in the capacity of a medical doctor, wasting the life of people, defiling innocent people in a government hospital, for that matter. Nigeria, which way? Which way, Nigeria? This is a case that is so pathetic, and you see, when you imagine the gravity of how things are spoiled in Nigeria, you marvel. Báwo ni ẹni tó jẹ́ pé wọlé ni ìwé tó lọ rẹ̀ kà nílé ìwé, àwọn tó bá karú ìwé òun iṣẹ́ wọlé ni ọmọ ń ṣe. Báwo ló ṣe find rẹ̀ ní government hospital tó wá lọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀ as a doctor? That is a slap on the face of the health sector of Nigeria. There are a lot of people who impersonate all around. Health is very important because they deal directly with life. Why will you recruit people that you will not screen them? You will not screen their certificates. You will not go and find out whether they even have a record in that school that they have claimed to graduate from. Even if you graduate 100 years ago in a school, your record will be in that school. A lot of people are fake. They have never been to school. They will find their way into a place and they will be working in the capacity that they are not trained for. Whereby people who are competent, who have competence, and they are so efficient in that work, they will be roaming the streets. This is where we are in Nigeria. Nigeria has become a place that is likened to a lion's den. Nowhere is safe. That is why I'm doing this show. We need to start talking about vulnerability. People are vulnerable. Children are vulnerable. Any little opportunity, a lot of people they make use of it to defile people. They take advantage of opportunity. They take advantage of vulnerability of people. If somebody is a victim of Haru APE, is he supposed to be in an hospital? A federal government hospital, for that matter. That is why I said I am calling on the Minister for Health, the CMD in all government hospitals and all medical personnel. I understand that there must be a body that will be seen or looking into this particular area. When last have you screened all the staffs that you recruit or you recruited in the government hospital to be administering drugs, medications, injections, vaccines, and a whole lot of things into patients, to be operating on a patient, to be treating a patient when you have never been to medical school, you have never studied medicine in the university. This girl was defied, she was abused, she was disflowered, a girl that has kept herself up to the final year in the university. In this corrupt world, only for her to be defied by a monster. How many Oyeniyi Kayode are still in government hospitals? How many Oyeniyi Kayode are in all the government parastatals there, sitting down there collecting salary for a work they are not qualified to do? How many Oyeniyi Kayode do we have in all of the government offices in Nigeria? All because of favorism, tribalism, nepotism, etc. We put people that are not competent on a seat and they go there to go and mess the life of people. So, this is the reason why I have come out today. People are so vulnerable. Do not leave your relative in an hospital when there is nobody to sit down and take care of them. There is nobody to look after them. It is only in private hospitals that we are afraid that, oh, the doctors might be quacks because the owner of those hospitals are not ready to pay. It is private hospitals that is always full of quack doctors and auxiliary nurses. Only for a government hospital to recruit a sanitation officer to be functioning in the capacity of a medical doctor, someone that has never read medicine in the university. Only for him to defile a 400 level student, a virgin who has waited, who has kept herself, only for this monster to defy this girl and still be trailing her all around. I want us to share this show and let it get to the appropriate quarters. All the people who are working in hospitals must be screened. Their certificates must be screened thoroughly. There must be a thorough screening to critically examine the kind of course, what they read in the school for them to start functioning in that capacity. People are so vulnerable. And I discovered that since how many days that this thing has happened, you know, people have been busy talking about Imisi, talking about VDM, he fought somebody in the flight and all of that. When a Wole became a doctor in a government hospital, Federal Republic of Nigeria, an health officer, a sanitation officer that's supposed to be checking the house of people, whether they have a pit toilet, whether they cover their food, whether their gutter is not well drained and all of that, that is where he's supposed to work. He went to school of hygiene, Yele Ibadan. He did not even go to school of nursing. There is a difference between somebody who went to school of nursing and the person who went to school of hygiene and public health. He went to school of hygiene and public health, Ibadan. He has an OND in public health. He is a Wole health officer, sanitation officer rather. How did he find his way into a federal government hospital in Kwara State, only for him to be giving injection to patients to eventually defile an innocent girl? All the people that have been staging show on this matter, you know, nobody has even spoken about it. Apart from Kokoro Alate, where the case was treated. There's some people started saying Alhaji has handled it very well. Thank God for Alhaji. How many Kayode Oyeniyi do we have in all the government parastatals resting their shoulders? Meanwhile, they had nothing. People who are not qualified to do things, when you see them with pride. I'm going to play that video. Every one of us will listen to it. It is so painful and sad that this is happening in our society. And most time, when this thing happened, we close our eyes to it because we believe it is not us. The issue of banditry and Boko Haram and all these things started like play. Before we know it now, it's getting closer to us now. And when it started in those days, everybody pretended as if they didn't hear anything since it is not from their own side. How will a sanitation officer become a medical doctor in a government hospital? This question must be answered. Because we are good people of Nigeria, we still believe in this country that good thing will still come out of this country, and if we did not start from the root, we will keep having problem. All bloggers and content creators and page owners and presenters, I expect us to echo this and share it and stage a show on it. It is this girl today, it could be anybody tomorrow. If you have waited, you will know what it means to wait in this corrupt world. Only for this girl to wait, kept herself, and to be defied by a demon who is supposed to take care of her, to treat her, only for the government to harbor evil for his own citizen by making a sanitation officer to have his way into a government hospital to start treating patients that he is not qualified to do. It's unfortunate. If we did not echo this, it will continue to happen. You know how many people will have fallen victim of this monster called Oyeniyi Kayode? How many monster, how many cesarean section has he done? How many patients has he operated on? How many patients has he injected? How many patients have been the victim of RAPE from him? He is not the only person working in that hospital. All other people, all other officers working in that hospital, they would definitely know that he is not a medical doctor. And the guy was saying that even the oga that is in that hospital normally refer to this Kayode as a doctor when he is not a doctor. That hospital is in Horo, Kwara State, where a sanitation officer is working, performing the duty of a medical doctor, doing the work he is not trained to do. That is why I said that you see, sickness can be on anybody. The President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, His Excellency Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Senate President, the Minister for Health, Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Commissioners for Health in all the 36 states, the Chief Medical Director of all government hospitals in Nigeria, all medical personnel, NGOs, human rights lawyers, all presenters, bloggers, content creators, the good people of Nigeria, both home and abroad, everybody must echo this. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, he is a public health, lásán, bẹ́ẹ̀ni. He is a sanitation officer, wọlé ni, báwo ló ṣe di dog, báwo ló ṣe dé government hospital, tó bá jẹ́ private hospital ni is a different thing. How did he get to a government hospital, start injecting patients, gave her a drug that will make her to be unconscious, defy this girl who is a virgin that has kept herself? It called for sober reflection, and it makes me to, it weaken me. I scheduled this live stream for 11, but I could not wait till 11. I just said, okay, let me start. So ẹ bá mi tag gbogbo àwọn targetables, gbogbo àwọn tó wà ní health sector, let them do screening for every staff working in an hospital. Let them screen them. Auxiliary nurses are not nurses. It's either you are a registered nurse, you finish from a school of nursing, or you read nursing in the university. That is when you can be qualified to take care of a patient. And even the office of a nurse is different from that of a doctor. How can we be a nation whereby people are not feeling fine and they are even afraid of going to the hospital? So a patient now has become vulnerable in the hand of somebody who is supposed to take care of the patients. Child care and sensitization is very, very important. The boy is not a doctor. He went to Eleyele School of Hygiene. He's a sanitation officer. You understand? He turned himself to a doctor. School tí àǹtí Tóyìn dúró gangan lọ. School àwọn tó bá yẹ pé wọ́n máa ń take care inú ilé, ṣé ẹ ní tọ́ílẹ̀tì, ṣé ẹ kó sọ́kàwé yín, kí kọ́lẹ́rà ò mọ́ mu yín. School tó lọ nìyẹn. We cannot leave the case to Alhaji alone. Alhaji has a whole lot of cases coming to his table. How many people are like this Kayode Oyeniyi that they are still in government offices? How many Kayode Oyeniyi do we have in hospitals defiling patients? People who are not even qualified, who are not even doctors. They are working in the capacity of a doctor, administering medications, injections to patients, and they have never even been to the university. They never read medicine. They never set their feet in the university. It takes 7 years to graduate as a doctor. Only for you to go to school of hygiene, that you are supposed to be a public health officer. You turn yourself to a medical doctor under the watch of who? Who is the boss in that office? Ta ni ọ̀gá wọn nínú hospital yẹn? Ta ló sọ fún àwọn ọmọ yẹn pé kán mọ̀ pé ní doctor? Because ọmọbìnrin yẹn sọ pé doctor làwọn mọ̀ ń pè. Ọ̀gá rẹ̀ tó wà níbẹ̀ ló ní káwọn mọ̀ pé ní doctor. Bóun náà tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá pè ní doctor ó máa bínú ni. Àwọn real doctor gan wọ́n ń kanra. Tẹ́ bá ti ráwọn tí wọ́n ń kanra, those are the ones that are not qualified. Agídí ni wọ́n fi ń ṣe. Anybody who is not qualified for an assignment and is doing that assignment, that person must be prosecuted. The Minister for Health, Federal Republic of Nigeria, and all the commissioners for health, everyone that is representing the health sector of Nigeria in all the 36 states and all the local governments we have in Nigeria, you have to start screening all the staff that you have employed for the past 20 years. Àwọn èsúkè ti wọ rárá. Àwọn ọ̀gá tó wà ní àwọn ọ́fíìsì yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn ọmọ yẹn wọ́n qualify, and yet they allow them to be taking care of patients. If it has even been a private hospital, even if they employ quacks, at least this evil will not happen. Because àwọn tó wà ní private hospital yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ pé àwọn wà under watch. They are under watch. The owner of the hospital is watching them. They can be quacks, but they cannot go to the extent of defiling a patient. But in government hospitals and other government parastatals, you see all the civil servants acting like a semi-god. Because nobody is checking their activities. Nobody is putting them under checks. Are you going to tell me that the person who is acting in the capacity of a boss in that Oro hospital in Kwara State, are you going to say that that person does not know that this Kayode Oyeniyi is not a medical doctor? Ṣó fẹ́ sọ pé òun ò mọ̀ ni? Ọmọ wa ni ẹjọ́ ṣe, ọmọ wa ni ẹjọ́ ṣe. That is one thing I love about academics. If you have not read a course, you can never lecture in that department. If you have never read a course, you can never teach that course. The same way it's supposed to be in all other sectors. How can a sanitation officer turn himself to a medical doctor in a government hospital for that matter? How can you employ a sanitation officer as a medical doctor? Báwo lẹ ṣe máa employ wọléwọlé kó wá mọ sojúṣe doctor ní hospital ìjọba? All the staffs in the government hospitals must be screened. They must be screened with their certificates. The certificate they are using to work, ó yẹ kán bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní máa screen wọn. They all must be screened, and so that we'll be able to make sure that they are not wrongly placed. Some people are placed in a particular position. They don't have the capacity. They were not trained for that assignment. Ó wá fún ọmọ ní painkiller, ọmọ become unconscious, ó rọ àtọ̀ sẹ́nu ọmọ, ó ṣọmọ yẹn báṣabàṣa. Wọ́n tún wá ní wọ́n lọ sọ fáwọn OPC. The OPC, the Oòduà People Congress, they said they are going to defend her. Later, they scattered that case. They started asking her not to worry. They started begging her. Do you think it's easy to wait? Excuse me. She waited, and she believed that she's going to get justice from all these OPC. She could not get justice only for her to come to Agidigbo. Báwo ni èèyàn tó jẹ́ wọléwọlé? Báwo ló ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di doctor ní hospital ìjọba? This is where we missed it. A lot of things are wrong right from the beginning, right from the foundation. Amúkú ẹrù ẹwọ́ olọ̀rọ̀ wa ní Nàìjíríà. Ó wá defile irú ọmọ yẹn. Do you think that trauma can leave that girl's head if not for God's grace? Ni mo ṣe sọ pé àwọn tí wọ́n ń sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ìmísí àti ìyá rẹ̀, ọ̀rọ̀ ìmísí àti ìyá ẹ̀ náà is a serious case, but this one is more serious. Because tí ìmísí ò bá ṣoríire, ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ ò ní bọ́ síta. This is a girl, an innocent girl that fell sick. She went to the hospital, government hospital for that matter, only for this to happen to her. Who is the person, who is that officer that is in that hospital working together with this Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì? Ṣẹ́ni tó jẹ́ bí ọ̀gá nínú hospital yẹn ṣó fẹ́ sọ pé òun ò mọ̀ pé Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì kò kí ń ṣe doctor? She went to OPC, no justice. How can you call yourself a doctor when you are not? The people in the health sector of Nigeria, they must begin to screen all their staffs. The people that has been employed in the last 20 years, let them bring their certificates and screen them. The ones that are not qualified, let them be screened out. Let them stop wasting the life of people, wasting people's destiny, the violent people, the innocent people. If you want to mark, personally I mark WAEC. To bá fẹ́ mark, you have to go with the originals of your certificates. You attend 3 days coordination, at least you must be a graduate in that course. You must have at least first degree in that subject, and you must attend the 3 days coordination. If you have been a regular marker and every year you are regular, no problem. You don't need to come with your credentials because they have screened you before. But if you travel to another location, you now want to mark, you will go to the marking center, you go and to lẹ́yìn wàá lọ tò ní ẹ̀yìn ni wàá lọ get scratch. You go with your originals, the originals of your credentials. You go with the photocopy too. They will screen you, look at your certificate and make sure that you have first degree in this course. You have at least first degree in that subject. If not, you will not even go there in the first place. If we can be screened just to mark a script for that matter, how much more somebody who is performing the duty of a medical doctor on a patient dealing with life directly? If you can be screened for you to mark a script of a school certificate candidate, how much more somebody administering medication for a patient? Even if you have the correct qualification and you didn't attend the 3 days coordination for that year, you are not marking that year, you come back next year. And the protocol must be observed. That is why I said I love academics. What you don't know, you can't teach it. Now, if this can be like this in the academic line, the people in the medical line, why are they so slack? Why will they lose guard to that extent that a sanitation officer turned himself to a medical doctor, the filing virgins in a government hospital? This must get to the appropriate quarters. As you are joining me, ẹ máa bá mi tag àwọn èèyàn. Ẹ máa tag Federal Republic of Nigeria. Ẹ máa tag Commissioner for Health, Minister for Health, CMD in all government hospitals. Ẹ máa tag gbogbo tagables. When I'm done with this live stream, I'm going to download this video, re-upload and tag all the tagables. This video must get to the appropriate quarters, and all the people working in the hospital must be screened. They must be critically examined for us to ascertain that they are not misplaced. They did not place them in a place where they are not supposed to be. Very soon now, a cleaner will put on the uniform of a nurse and start calling herself a nurse. This is a boy who is a monster. He finished in School of Hygiene in 2017, turned himself to a doctor, defied a girl who has kept herself for so long. This is so ridiculous. In a country that we call ourselves the giant of Africa, it could be anybody. Sickness can be on anybody. How will it be if it has been somebody that is close to you, or even you yourself find yourself in that kind of situation, to be treated by a sanitation officer, a wole acting in the capacity of a medical doctor in a government hospital? When Nigeria is gone, of course. He didn't even know the name of the injection he gave to the girl. When Alhaji was questioning him, orúkọ oògùn wo ló fún? Ó ní painkiller ni, painkiller ló ń fún. Let it get to the Kwara State government. Very, very important. The Commissioner for Health, Kwara State, let this video get to him. Help me and tag all of them. The Commissioner for Health, Kwara State, the Minister for Health, Nigeria, the CMD, or in all government hospitals. Because I want to know that hospital in Oro will be under a particular hospital that is probably the general hospital. I don't know how to arrange their hierarchy. If it is academics now, I will know how they arrange it. They are not an health officer. You understand? Somebody cannot be a sanitation officer and be working in the capacity of a medical doctor. Do you know what it means to be a medical doctor? You know what it means to become a doctor? You spend 7 years in the university. Àwọn míì máa ń kú síbi training yẹn tán ní parí. Ó wá lọ sí school of hygiene, school àwọn wọléwọlé. Ó wá sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di doctor. Ó wá mọ bragado lórí àwọn ọmọ yẹn ní bẹ́ẹ̀ bá pè ní doctor gan-an ó fẹ́ lè mọ bá ń jà. Ó máa gapá lórí òfurufú gbogbo ọ̀tọ́ bá ti máa ń gbéraga wọn ní nǹkan kan. Ìgbà tálájì interrogate ẹ̀ náà tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá mọ̀ pé kì í ṣe doctor gan. Wọ́n ní maybe some people are calling him doctor because I know a medical lab scientist that people are calling him. Ó gbọ́dọ̀ reject ni. Janswe, if you are not something and people are calling you that thing, you reject it immediately. Even the PhD doctor that we do, if your final defense is tomorrow, you dare not answer doctor to anybody. Tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀la ló máa ṣe final defense, ọ̀la ló máa ṣe induction, tó máa di doctor gangan, ọ̀la ló máa parí PhD ẹ̀ yanyan, ò gbọ́dọ̀ answer doctor lẹ́nu. PhD, Doctor of Philosophy in a particular course. Ó yàtọ̀ sí medical doctor. Wọ́n máa ń ní PhD in medicine náà. People can do masters in medicine, PhD in medicine. I know a professor of medicine. The Baba is a medical doctor. He's also a lecturer in Faculty of Health Sciences. So after tó parí BMS, tó parí is a basic medical student, tó di doctor first degree. Wọ́n ṣe masters in medicine, wọ́n ṣe PhD in medicine, and he continue in his research. PhD is the peak of academics. Postdoctorate, research and all of that. He became a professor of medicine. Apart from the fact that he's a medical doctor, he's also a prof. So you can be a doctor of medicine. In other words, you read medicine, you did masters, you did PhD. So doctor or PhD, ó yàtọ̀ sí medical doctor. A PhD holder is a doctor of philosophy in a particular course. So PhD tó ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ yẹn, until tó bá parí, táwọn professors tó defend lójú wọn, tó bá rí pé ṣe ó wọ́ tiẹ̀, tó wá pronounce ẹ, tó fún ẹ, tó pronounce you a doctor. That is when you become qualified. Even if you are rounding up your PhD tomorrow, you cannot answer doctor today. So wọ́n ní bóyá àwọn kan náà pè ní doctor bẹ́ẹ̀, nǹkan tó bá jẹ́ tó ò tí ì dì, má jẹ́ kán pè ẹni tó jẹ́. Impersonation is a criminal offence. If I am yet to round up my PhD, if anybody calls me doctor, I won't answer. Tí prof ẹ bá gbọ́ wàá sọ bí tó ti rí PhD tó fi pè ní doctor tó fi ń dáhùn. Anybody tó bá ti sọ pé call me doctor, fake ni àwọn yẹn. They are fake. Fake. So even if he is he read lab sciences or what, if you are not a doctor, don't allow anybody to call you a doctor. Ntọ́ ọ̀bà jẹ́ má jẹ́ wọ́n fi pè ọ́. So that is it. Even if you are rounding up your PhD tomorrow, if they call you doctor today and you answer, tó bá bẹ́ẹ̀ rìn débi tán yẹ kó rìn dé, ó máa sọ bí tó ti rí PhD tán fi ń pè ẹ́ doctor. Kámọ́ tí wàá sọ medical doctor. Dealing with life directly. Took advantage of a girl, the finder, a girl who is a virgin. Tó wọ́n kọ́mọ̀ wulẹ̀ bọ́dà láti bímọ torí ègún yẹn ó máa ké lórí àrọ́mọdọ́mọ rẹ̀ ni kó tètè lọ rot in jail yẹ bó ṣe fẹ́ rot nínú jail rẹ̀. So ti yẹ yín bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So I was saying the Commissioner for Health, Kwara State, Human Rights, the CMD of all general hospitals. You understand? This will definitely not be his first time. Èyí kọ́ ló máa jẹ́ first time oyè ní Yíkáyọ̀dé yẹn yóò ti máa ṣe tipẹ́. And that place is very close to institutions. So there are a whole lot of students tó ti máa jẹ́ victim ọmọkùnrin tó jẹ́ monster yẹn. A whole lot of students ló ti máa jẹ́ victim ẹ̀. Báwo ni ẹni tó jẹ́ wọléwọlé? Ìyẹn ni question tí mò ń béèrè. Ẹ rí pé yín tẹ́ wà ní Facebook mi kìíní kejì. Question ni mo fi táàgì ètò yìí. How will a wọléwọlé? Báwo ló ṣe find the way sí government hospital? I understand the fact that Nigeria is so porous. Porosity ti wà. Oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà làwọn èèyàn ń gbà lọ ọgbọ́n àlùmọ̀ǹkọ̀rọ̀ yín. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá lo ọgbọ́n láti attain ibì kan, báwo ló ṣe fẹ́ function níbẹ̀? Why you don't have the you are not knowledgeable, you are not trained for that assignment. Wọ́n ní I'm a massage therapist. Ẹ má jẹ́ kí anybody pé ní tẹ́ ẹ̀ bá jẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní qualification fún. Even kó jẹ́ pé ń ṣe lọ́wọ́ ńgbẹ́ bá parí ẹ̀ lẹ́ tó lè answer rẹ̀. Because you don't have anything to defend it. They call you a nurse. You don't have a certificate in nursing. You didn't go to school of nurse. You didn't study BSc nursing. They start calling you nurse. Ó lẹ́nìkan sọ pé bóyá èèyàn náà máa ń pè ní doctor. Páwọn ọ̀rẹ́ nìkan tó study science lab kìíní kan tó ń pè ní doctor. Ó náà wá ń dáhùn. Kí ló ń dáhùn sí? Ẹ má jẹ́ kán pè yín ní tẹ́ ẹ̀ jẹ́. Don't let people call you what you are not. Impersonation nìyẹn, character assassination ni. Ngbọ̀ bá parí tó ti wà certified to bear that title, you start bearing it. Yeah, gbogbo yẹn ti parí kíní kan ló ń dìlé mi ìgbà kan, as long as you are not yet done, you have not finished. Wọ́n lè pè ẹ́ nìkan yẹn. Eléyìí yàtọ̀ fún wípé ó lọ ń perform, ó lọ ń ṣiṣẹ́ in the capacity of what he is not trained for. Ó tún lọ commit criminal offence of RAPE, the filing a girl. Tẹ́ bá listen sí fídíò yẹn, ara bí a máa ta yín. In this corrupt world, for somebody to wait, we have waited also, and we know what it means to wait in this corrupt world. Only for you to defile a very innocent girl. Thank God for the wisdom of that girl. Ó nígbà tó ń jí òun rí pé nǹkan kan ó ń taste lẹ́nu òun, pé taste yẹn yàtọ̀ sí normal saliva taste. Ó wá tutọ́ yẹn pamọ́, ó tú pamọ́. Ọ̀rẹ́ kan wá wò lọ hospital yẹn, ó wá fi kíní yẹn hàn. Ó lóun lọ bá ya kan pé ya yẹn ẹ ṣáà máa gbọ́ fídíò yẹn sìn. Pé òun àtọ̀rẹ́ òun ṣáà tètè try pé káwọn ọmọ ṣe bíi pé àṣírí ẹ̀ ti tú kó mọ́ lọ pa àwọn. Ìjọ́ kejì àbíjọ́ wo ni wọ́n sọ fóun pé àwọn òbí ẹ wọ́n ní láti gbé ẹ lọ tọ́jú o torí lánàá tó ń wà inside rẹ, tó ń wà inside of you, òun notice kinní kan tó dàbí bọ́ọ̀lù. Ó lòun bá ní pé ó wà inside òun báwo. Ó ní ló bá ní kó mọ́ bínú, slip of tongue ni. Ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn ló dé tó rí tó rẹ́jẹ̀ lára ẹ̀, tó rí everything. Ṣé ìmọ̀ ọmọ tí ò mọkùnrin, you know, ọ̀rẹ́ yẹn ló rẹ́jẹ̀ lórí everything. Ló wá wò pé ṣé ìṣe wípé ẹni ti fi nǹkan ṣe ọ́. Eventually ńgbà tán lọ fẹjọ́ sùn lọ́dún OPC ló jẹ́wọ́ fún gbogbo bó ṣe ṣọmọ lọ́mọ báṣabàṣa, bó ṣe rọ àtọ̀ sẹ́nu ọmọ kó tó di wípé wá dìfáìlì ẹ̀. Olórí burúkú ni Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì, kò ní bọ́ nínú ẹ̀wọ̀n tó lọ yẹn, kò ní bọ́ níbẹ̀. Ẹni tó bá ní kó bọ́ ń bẹ̀, ẹni yẹn máa kúkú òjijì ni. Ẹ̀yin ìjọba, kí ni nǹkan tá à ń jàǹfààní lára yín gan? Ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba ò tún séèfù. Báwo lẹ ṣe ṣe tí wọléwọlé tó fi sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di medical doctor? This thing cannot happen in academics, because what you don't know you can't teach. Iṣẹ́ tó o mọ̀ tó o train fún, tó o ní PhD nínú ẹ̀ gan, tó o bá bọ́ síwájú àwọn Gen Z students, question tó máa bí ẹ léèrè, if you are not sound as a teacher, the students will mess you up. So you cannot study biochemistry and you want to go and be teaching in the department of psychology or philosophy, or you study public administration, you want to come to botany to come and lecture. What did you know that you want to teach? You cannot say you read chemistry and even if you have little knowledge of biology, then low level rẹ̀ ló máa kọ́. Báwo ni wọléwọlé ṣe dẹni tí ń mú abẹ́rẹ́, tí ń fúnyàn lábẹ́rẹ́, tí ń take advantage àwọn ọmọ nínú hospital ìjọba? It is saddening, it saddens the heart. Báwo ló ṣe débẹ̀? Ọmọ wa ni ẹjọ́ ṣe, ọmọ wa ni ẹjọ́ ṣe, ojúṣàájú tẹ̀ ń ṣe kiri. You start recruiting people who are not competent. It could be anybody. If this girl is your sister, your daughter, your cousin, what would you have done? Ọ̀yọ́ State College of Education, school tó mention ó fẹ́ẹ̀ tó mẹ́rin, kò fẹ́ẹ̀ rántí school tó lọ gan nígbà tálájì interrogate ẹ̀ nínú studio yẹn. Ó lóun lọ Ọ̀yọ́ State Health and Technology kìíní kan, almost 4 schools ló mention. School méjì tó wà ní Ìbàdàn, School of Nursing Ẹlẹ́yẹlé. Àwọn tó bá lọ School of Nursing Ẹlẹ́yẹlé tí wọ́n bá jáde, they become a nurse. Now àwọn tó lọ school tó lọ Bùsàn ìlọ, School of Hygiene and Health and technical health, wọ́n yẹn wọléwọlé náà máa ń dìtàn bá parí. School of Hygiene yẹn, School of Hygiene yẹn ló lọ ọdún kan àtòsù mẹ́fà ní wọ́n fi máa ṣe OND in public health. Àwọn tí wọ́n bá parí ń bẹ̀ wọléwọlé ni wọ́n. Bó o ló ṣe rápálá dénú hospital, ẹ wo iye àwọn ọmọ tí ó ti dìfáìlì, ẹ wo iye patient tí ó ti kú lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀. Ẹni tó jẹ́ medical doctor gan tó wà trained for that assignment gan, mistake máa ń ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ó wà trained fún nǹkan yẹn gan. And tó bá yẹ pé mistake ló bá ṣẹlẹ̀, wọ́n mọ bí wọ́n ṣe máa ń cover up ara wọn lẹ́ni tó dìídì jẹ́ qualified nurse doctor gan. Nọ́ọ̀sì gan ò tó bẹ́ẹ̀ láti pèrè ẹ̀ ní doctor, a nurse ò lè pèrè ẹ̀ ní doctor. Ambọ̀sì bọ́sẹ̀ tí ò nọ́ọ̀sì tí ò doctor tó ṣe pé wọléwọlé ni. So please help us to create this awareness. Mo dẹ̀ rí àwọn presenters, àwọn content creators, àwọn bloggers, wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ yìí, ọ̀rọ̀ Missy ni wọ́n sọ. Missy was also defiled according to her because of negligence and the negligence of parents. Kí òbí kó má mójútó ọmọ ọ̀tọ̀ nìyẹn. She was vulnerable at the age of 12. La gbọ́ pé yẹ́ ti gbé kalẹ̀ lẹ̀, she become vulnerable. Olórí burúkú lọkùnrin mi ó kó abẹ́ wọn yẹn, wọ́n lè control rẹ̀. Tó o bá fẹ́ fẹ́yàwó lọ fẹ́yàwó, irú àwọn olórí burúkú Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì wọ́n níyàwó nílé torí wọ́n níwà tán fi ń kíìpù obìnrin, wọ́n ní kárátà tán fi ń kíìpù obìnrin. So obìnrin ò lè bárú wọn gbé, narcissist nírú wọn, wọ́n máa ń gbéraga ni, wọ́n máa claim to be what they are not. Àgídìgbò lọmọ yẹn gan tó mọ̀ pé ní yìí kì í ṣe doctor ló tó mọ̀ pé olórí burúkú wọléwọlé ni. Ó fún ọmọ ní abẹ́rẹ́ tó ọmọ fi sùn, tó o bá fẹ́ fún patient nírú abẹ́rẹ́ yẹn, ẹ̀tọ́ patient yẹn mọ̀ lábẹ́ òfin medical. Tó bá fẹ́ fún patient ní abẹ́rẹ́ tó máa jẹ́ kó wà unconscious, wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ sọ fún patient yẹn pé tó, this injection I'm about to give you, it will make you to react like this, it will do this, it will do that. Lábẹ́ òfin medical, ó gbọ́dọ̀ fún patient ní injection yẹn láì jẹ́ pé èèyàn kan bá wà tó máa dúró tì í. Ó wá fọ́mọ ọlọ́mọ ní injection, ó wọ́ lọ́nu tọ́ílẹ̀tì, ó di fáìlì ẹ̀, ó wá ń sọ fáwọn OPC pé ọwọ́ ọbí kan ló ń ti bẹ̀rẹ̀, ó ń ṣe báyìí, ó ń ṣe báyìí, ó ń ṣàwo. Olórí burúkú tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí iṣẹ́ ló dàbí èrè. Ọkùnrin kọkùnrin tó bá ń di fáìlì ọmọ, ẹ máa expose sí wọn, keep exposing them. Tó bá expose sí wọn, tó ń jìyà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wọn, wọn ò ní tẹ̀síwájú mọ́ láti máa ṣe ìwà orí burúkú. Ó wá mú ọmọ ọlọ́mọ, ọmọ tó ti dúró, ọmọ tó wà ní 400 level tí òun ọkùnrin rí, ó wá dì fáìlì ọmọ. Ẹ tún wá ń tírẹ̀tì ẹ̀, ó láwọn kan náà mọ̀ tẹ̀lé òun nígbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn OPC náà tán náà ó gbìjà òun, wọn gbìjà òun mọ́. Wọn kan ti wá ń tẹ̀lé òun ló ń ṣe ní kò ń wá gídígbò. Ọmọ ọlọ́mọ tó ti dúró that she has waited for number of years, all because of pé abára wa ní country tó jẹ́ pé a value ẹ̀mí èèyàn, a value right protocol, a value pé kéèyàn ọmọ tẹ̀lé protocol nínú nǹkan téèyàn ọba máa ṣe, a value rẹ̀. Tá a bá value protocol ni wọléwọlé kò ní sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di doctor ní ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba for that matter. School of Nursing Ẹlẹ́yẹlé school méjì ló wà ní Ìbàdàn Ọ̀yọ́ state yẹn. School of Nursing Ẹlẹ́yẹlé, àwọn tán bá lọ bẹ̀ yẹn náà máa ń di nurse. Then School of Hygiene and Environmental Sciences Ẹlẹ́yẹlé náà ni School of Hygiene and Environmental Sciences. àbí òye wa báyìí àwọn yẹn health officer ni wọ́n sanitation officer ni wọ́n wọlé wọn tí wọ́n bá parí school wọlé náà máa ń dì school lọmọkùnrin Káyọ̀dé ń lọ school yẹn ló lọ báwo ló ṣe wá di pé ó dé government hospital tó rè act as a doctor bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ dákun bẹ́ẹ̀ bá gbé patient lọ sí hospital tó bá dẹ̀ jẹ́wọ́ náà ni patient tó gbé rẹ̀ lọ sí hospital any doctor tó bá fẹ́ fún ẹ lábẹ́rẹ́ bí léèrè pé school wo ló ti jáde since how many years has he been practicing it is your right yes tí n bá fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ ní nǹkan right òbí ọmọ ni láti mọ qualification mi tí mo fẹ́ fi kọ́ ọmọ àwọn níṣẹ́ àbí òye báyìí nísìn so ẹni tó bá pèrè ní nurse tó fẹ́ gun yín lábẹ́rẹ́ ẹbí pé school bo ló ti jáde nígbà tẹ́mi ń show lesson àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń employ wa láti wá kọ́ ọmọ wọn you will present your certificate to them torí kì í sọ home lesson kọ́bọ̀kọ́bọ̀ ṣìṣìṣìṣì àwọn tó ṣe pọ́n wà educated wọ́n wà ilé cerebral people làwọn náà wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ mọ tó ọkà léèwé tó fi fẹ́ kọ́ ọmọ àwọn níṣẹ́ ẹni tẹ́ bá ti ń bèrè qualification ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ láti jẹ́ pé kó tó ṣiṣẹ́ tó ti ń bínú ó yẹ kẹ́ ẹ ti mọ̀ pé irú yẹn kò qualify nìyẹn bí n bá qualify fún nǹkan inú mi máa dùn tán bá challenge mi láti bèrè wípé kí ni qualification mi bẹ́ẹ̀ tẹ́ bá ti ráwọn olórí burúkú bíi Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì àwọn pedophile àwọn olófo àwọn tó máa ń bàtà yí ọmọ ọlọ́mọ jẹ́ tó ṣe pé ayé tiẹ̀ náà ti bàjẹ́ when you ask them their qualification they can't say they can't speak wọn ní lè sọ̀rọ̀ ó dákọ̀ tó school mẹ́rin lánàá kò tí ẹ̀ rántí school tó lọ gan mọ́ ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run àwọn ìjọba ń gbò jẹ́ pé amúkùn ẹrù ẹwọ́ lọ̀rọ̀ wa Nàìjíríà ṣé báǹkan náà ni wọ́n gbà sọ́fíìsì ṣé wọ́n screen wọn ni ordinary marking tá a máa ń ṣe tó jẹ́ pé one off gan ni tí ì ṣe pé permanent recruitment kankan fẹ́ recruit ẹ pé ọ̀fẹ́ máàkì lásán you go with your certificate they must see that you read this course in the university and at least you have first degree bóyá B.Ed ló ní o bóyá B.Sc ní o you must have B.Ed or B.Sc in that biology before you can mark and you must attend 3 days coordination tó bá ń ṣe scrutiny bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn ní WAEC marking center gan lásán mélòó wá ní doctor mélòó ní medical doctor that claim to be a doctor you know turned himself to a doctor who is a wọléwọlé in the real sense in the actual fact báwo ló ṣe di doctor ṣe rí wípé nowhere is safe in Nigeria torí gbà táwọn bá ga pa nísìn àmọ́ ní go to the hospital àmọ́ refer àwọn èèyàn sí hospital àmọ́ ní kán máa lọ hospital àmọ́ ga pa torọ́kàn wá balẹ̀ pé àwọn tí wọ́n wà níbẹ̀ they are competent only for us to be injected by a wọléwọlé in a government hospital tó bá jẹ́ private hospital sìn á ní kílé tí ò lọ tìjọba ni mo ṣe sọ pé commissioner for health ní Kwara state mi ò mọ ẹni yẹn torí mi ò mọ politics the commissioner for health in Kwara state ẹ bá ń táàgì àwọn tó bá jẹ́ PA wọn àbáwọn aides wọn ní òòró ní hospital wọléwọlé wà ń bẹ̀ tí ń ṣiṣẹ́ dókítà tí ń dìfáìlì ọmọ all the states in the west Ọ̀ṣun state Ọ̀yọ́ state Lagos state Kwara state Kogi state Èkìtì state mélòó ṣé sí pé Ọ̀ṣun Ọ̀yọ́ Kogi Èkìtì Lagos Ògùn àwọn state yẹn gbogbo yíyányán ẹ lọ ṣe screening fún àwọn medical personnel tẹ recruit in the past 20 years bó bá ṣoṣù kan lẹ fi máa organize screening yẹn ẹ ṣe fún wọn wọ́n ní this thing happened to me today in one hospital in Oyo state a sì máa ṣe calling mo kàn fẹ́ explain ni màá dẹ̀ play video yẹn kẹ́ ẹ lè gbọ́ kí ara abiyamọ kó tààyàn ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ti ṣe chastity tẹ́ ti jẹ́ chase torí ọ̀fẹ́ Ọlọ́run pa yín mọ́ you know kò sí bí ò ṣe níyàn torí this is a girl tí Ọlọ́run fún lórí ọ̀fẹ́ àti dúró ẹ wá wo bó ṣe lọ bá orí burúkú monster yìí tó lọ bá pàdé ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀yin content creator blogger tẹ́ ẹ bá stage show lórí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí a jẹ́ pé ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ Nàìjíríà voice tá a ní àwọn èèyàn ni wọ́n ń tẹ̀lé wa tá a fi ní traffic online a gbọ́dọ̀ lo page wa láti gbé ọ̀rọ̀ ìjáde kó kan àwọn ìjọba lára this thing can happen to anybody báwo ni medical wọléwọlé ládùrú medical doctor tó ti graduate tí wọn ò rí iṣẹ́ ẹwọ ẹgbẹgbẹ̀rún medical doctor tó ti kúrò Nàìjíríà tó ti travel out tí àwọn hospitals wa tí ò sí doctor níbẹ̀ táwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n study medicine tí wọ́n and the Nigerians we are very brilliant, we are brilliant people. Ńgbà tí wọn ò ti mọ̀yàn lókè wọ́n gbé certificate wọn pamọ́ sínú ilé láwọn qualified medical doctors that they know how to care for patients, that they know how to manage the health of patients, that they learn caring with their medicine. They are at home because wọn mọ minister, wọn mọ president, wọn mọ èèyàn kankan. Àwọn olóòbùsàn tí wọn ò gba university kọjá débi kí wọ́n tiẹ̀ ní medicine kan study medicine tí wọ́n tó jẹ́ pé wọléwọlé ni wọ́n school wọléwọlé náà lọ wọ́n wá ń ṣiṣẹ́ medical doctor, a real medical doctor wà nínú ilé tí ò ríṣẹ́ ṣe. Which way Nigeria? That one is not even as painful as the defilement of a virgin who is a final year student in higher institution. A lady that will have suffered a lot for her to keep her hymen. I know what it means to wait because I waited over 3 decades. Only for her to be defied by this monster called Kayode Oyeniyi, who is a sanitation officer that finds his way into a government hospital parading himself as a medical doctor when he has never read medicine, he has never even been to the university. Is this not a shame and a slap on the face of Nigeria, a giant of Africa, and even a slap in the face of the health sector of Nigeria? Share this video, share this show. Every other person who has been a victim of RUAPE, who has been defied, who has been, raped by evil people, let them start coming out. We will keep talking about it. We will keep talking about it. Even when you consent, you give your body to your husband. If that husband is not gentle with you, you can be wounded. How much more somebody who has not given her body to a monster and that monster took advantage of her. She didn't visit you at home. She didn't do boyfriend things. She fell sick and went to the hospital for treatment. Only for Kwara State not to screen their staff and for a wole to have his way into a government hospital, you understand, and start parading himself as a doctor, start injecting patients, giving them injection, making them to sleep and defy them, all because the Kwara State health sector could not screen their staff. It is only private hospitals that are always full of quack doctors and auxiliary nurses. Only for this to happen in a government hospital. It could be anybody. So if you cannot stage a show, share this video. Why won't you even stage a show? If it is a case of macaroni, jollof rice, BDM, fighting, beating themselves, people will start staging show. You will see a lot of people on TikTok talking about it. Please, start screening all your staffs. Health sector is not a sector that can be handled with levity because they deal directly with life. We have felt sick at some point in our life and we were well taken care of. The trauma that has been created in the head of this girl, only God can remove that trauma. We that we have never been a victim, may we not be unfortunate. May God heal the wound of as many people who have been victims. And this happened because the government failed us in Nigeria. How can somebody, this is the question I kept on asking, how can a sanitation officer act in the capacity of a medical doctor in a government hospital? Báwo ló ṣe débẹ̀? Báwo ló ṣe ṣe? Torí even in teaching gan, you have to tender all your certificates. They must know that you read that course. And if you don't read the course, the first time you appear in the classroom, you are going to fuck up, you are going to mess up. So, excuse me. This is so sad. Àwọn tó máa ń lo àwọn èèyàn ẹ má ní cholera, ẹ má ní dysentery, ẹ má ní typhoid, ẹ mu omi tó kílìnì. Bóyá tewúrẹ́ kan bá kú àbágùntàn bá kú, wọ́n á make sure pé wọ́n lọ rèé jù sínú odò kódò yẹn mọ̀ tún sàn wá síbi táwọn èèyàn ti bomi mu. Iṣẹ́ àwọn wọléwọlé nìyẹn. Ẹni tí wọ́n bá ní pit toilet, àwọn wọléwọlé ọ̀wà á wò bí ṣe kí wọ́n ti lé nǹpa tó bá ti di wípé toilet wọn ò da. Prevention náà wà fún prevention pé kí cholera, dysentery, typhoid, waterborne disease kọ́ mọ̀ mọ́ òyàn ní tí wọ́n wà fún nù. Wọ́n train wọn gan láti ṣe vital search tó máa ń ṣe yẹn, vital search tó máa ń wò fúnpá, tó máa ń wo temperature táwọn nurse máa ń ṣe. These wọléwọlés are not trained to do it. Àwọn wọléwọlé wọn wà trained láti ṣe vital search fún patients. Only a nurse, a qualified registered nurse is empowered, is trained to do vital search on a patient. I stand to be corrected. Nurse, doctors ló lè ṣe vital search. À ń wo temperature, à ń wo blood pressure, à ń wo gbogbo everything ara. Nurse àbí doctor ló lè ṣe yẹn. Wọléwọlé is not trained for that. Temperature ẹ gan tó máa fi thermometer sí bí abíyá yẹn. Kí ni wọléwọlé gan wá dé hospital gan in the first place? Kí ló wá dé hospital tó lọ ń fọwọ́ kan patient? This is so sad. Àwọn sọ pé àwọn bandits ń wọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, wọ́n yìnbọn, wọ́n ń ṣe live stream lọ́wọ́, wọ́n ń ṣe service, wọ́n live service wọn online. You know, àwọn bandits wọlé, wọ́n yìnbọn, wọ́n pa àwọn èèyàn, wọ́n kó àwọn èèyàn lọ. Ṣé ibi bandit ni ìṣòro wa ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà ni? Ṣé bí níbi kékèké yìí náà ni? Ṣé bí níbi kékèké yìí náà ni? Àwọn kan ni ó mọ̀ tí ó fi débẹ̀ báwọn. Ẹ wo àwọn tí ó sì bà láyé jẹ́ kó tó dórí ọmọ ọlọ́mọ yìí. A very innocent girl, very decent, living her life for the Lord. It's sad. Irú wọn náà máa ń gbéraga nínú society. Nígbà tí mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ empower, tí mo ń ṣiṣẹ́ teacher. Bí máa nǹkan nìyẹn tí ó ní káwọn ọmọ mọ̀ pé òun ní prince. Ó jẹ́ ọ̀pá sọ́pà gàdé lolóhùn jẹ́ àbọ̀ ọ̀pá ṣàwà nínú orúkọ ẹ̀. Ó ní káwọn ọmọ mọ̀ pé ẹ́ ní prince. Ó wá di àárọ̀ kùtùkùtù ọjọ́ Monday, mathematics teacher ti wà nínú kíláàsì ọmọ. Ọmọ wá kúnlẹ̀ nínú staff room. Ẹ̀yin ò ṣe ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ máàsì ni. Ọkùn kìíní kan ló ní kàn ó kúnlẹ̀. Kí lẹ ṣe fún un? Ó náà pé ń prince. Mo sọ fún mo níwò ó kì í ṣe prince. Ó ṣe ní kàn ọmọ pé ọ̀n prince. Ọ̀pá ló ń jẹ́. Olówó láti ìlú ibi tó ló ti wá. Mo ti Google ìlú yẹn. Kò sọ Pàgádé nínú dynasty gbogbo tí wọ́n jọba rí ń bẹ̀. Bóyá àwọn ancestors yíyan tán máa ń gbọ́pa ọba, tán máa ń fàtẹ́gùn sọ́ba hùn. Torí àwọn tó bá jẹ́ ọba adé, iná máa ń jẹ́. Adéyẹmí, Adéyínká, Adégbóyèga, Adégoróyè, Adéṣègbà, Adésàwò, ìlà àwọn ọba máa ń jẹ́. Ọba kì í jẹ́ ọ̀pá ṣe kinní kan. Ọwà nìkan máa pe ọ̀n prince. Ọwà nìkan kúnlẹ̀ láàárọ̀ Monday tán ti ń ṣe máàsì. Principal wa ń bẹ̀ sí rí obìnrin ni, and you know how a woman can be very, very competent and strict when they lead. Mo ṣe lọ sọ fún mọ́mì nù pé báwọn ọmọ bá ti ẹ̀sẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ó jẹ́ kán listen sí tí tíṣà ń sọ. Even as a teacher, mo lọ́jọ́ kan tí mo ń ṣe reproductive system fáwọn ọmọ tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa the reproductive organs, the system, the everything. Ọmọkùnrin kan tó rẹ́rìn lẹ́yìn mo ní kó dìde kó mọ orí òró ló wà títí mo fi parí kíláàsì yẹn. Orí ìnàró ìní lé ọbọ̀ síta torí tí n bá lé ọbọ̀ síta ohun tí mo sọ ní táìmù tó ọbọ̀ ta tó bá jáde nínú ẹ̀sáàmù ọmọ àgbòdo ni. So bóyá tí wọ́n sì gbé fún ọ́nù wáyẹ́kì nu ọwà nàró síbí níbi tó jù mí ó ti tó ọ títí mo fi parí kíláàsì orí ìnàró ló wà. O lè mọ rin ẹ̀rín kọ́ ọmọ distract the serious students who are ready to learn. À ń bọ̀sibọ́sí ó ti yẹ àwọn ọmọ tíṣà ti wà nínú kíláàsì wọ́n ti ń kọ́ wọn ní mathematics. Ìwọ wá ní kán wá kúnlẹ̀ kí wọ́n má lọ sí kíláàsì láti lọ kó ẹ̀kọ́ táwọn òbí wọn rán wọn wá kọ́ ó ní wọn ò pè ọ́n prince ó sì ṣe prince. Bí mo ṣe ní mo kúrú tó ìgan mo tó ga jù lọ ẹni tó kúrú yọmọ lọ́wọ́ gba èèyàn tó ga bí ilẹ̀kùn bó ṣe lọ́wọ́ gbọ́ngà kan létí ńjọ́ kan náà tó ga bí ilẹ̀kùn. Mo wá sọ fún mo ní ti ẹ̀dùn náà ṣé tí àlọ́ fẹ́ gùn tó fi gbẹ́ni ìlétí ni àbí tébù lọ́ máa mú gùn. Ó mọ ní káwọn máa pè ọ́n prince ó sì ṣe prince. Ẹni tí bá ti ń béèrè táìtù tí ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ fún táìtù ẹ máa fura sí ẹ. bí mo ṣe já ráǹkì ẹ̀jọ́ náà nù mo ní ó ìṣe prince èmi ò bu lójú ọmọ wọn o sàmọ̀ yípa èèyàn lè máa bu lójú ọmọ káwọn náà mọ̀ rí ìyànfẹ́ nígbà mo sọ lọ sọ fún mọ́mì tí mọ́mì principal ní káwọn mọ̀ lọ kíláàsì kan padà wá sáfù punishment wọn káwọn mọ̀ tó dé mo ti sọ fún wọn níwò ó lè mọ̀ halẹ̀ mọ́ àwọn ọmọ níbí obìnrin gbogbo ọmọ ò tó dé jáàbù ntí ò dé jáàbù ó lo bẹ̀rẹ̀ ẹ̀tì and it's a government school bọ́ọ̀ ló ṣe ní ká máa pe on prince ṣé prince náà fi employ her as a teacher sí bí ni tọ́wọ́ amúra tọ́ máa halẹ̀ mọ́ ọmọ ó sì ṣe prince gan ó ṣe prince torọ ọ̀págadé lọ ń jẹ́ sáwọn ìdílé ọba máa ń dọ́pà sọmọ dọ́pà nínú ìdílé ọba kì í ṣe adéyẹmí adéṣègbà adédiwúrà adéfúnminire adédire iná ń jẹ́ nínú ilé ọba adébáyọ̀ adéṣínà àwọn tó bá máa ń joyè wọ́n máa jẹ́ oyè níkẹ́ oyè níyì oyè ìdèjì oyè ṣègbà oyè ṣàwo ìjọba joyè oníkọ́ ọmọ kò irú wọn yẹn kò yàtọ̀ sí eléyìí tó yẹ pé kò lọ sí school of medical doctor kò study medicine wọléwọlé ni ó lọ ń pàrẹ̀dì ara ẹ̀ as a doctor ọmọbìnrin yẹn tó wá sọ pé ẹni tó tún jẹ́ ọ̀gá ní hospital yẹn yóò tún máa ní káwọn máa pè ní doctor yí pé doctor ní gbogbo àwọn máa ń pè é this is so sad that's one thing tí mo nífẹ̀ẹ́ nípa academics if you are not a doctor tó o bá ti kó o lo ọgbọ̀n ọdún kó o mọ̀ tí round up phd rẹ mr lọ máa jẹ́ ó dìgbò ó bá parí tó o ṣe gbogbo everything necessary drawn and dusted tó o publish paper ẹ tó o ṣe gbogbo tó yẹ kó o ṣe tó o ti ṣe defence 1 defence 2 final defence tó o ṣe everything bó o bá tí ì ṣe tó ń reject iṣẹ́ ẹ padà bí o ti wá ni so when you are done you do induction your name is published from the name of that university as one of the people who finished their doctorate program in that university. Then you start bearing that title, a doctor in academics. But when it comes to the medical doctor, if you did not study medicine in a reputable university, 6 years and a year workmanship, 7 years altogether, nothing the doctor. Oh, why don't they say 18-month program ní School of Hygiene and Public Health nìbàdàn? Ó wá find the way ara ẹ in a wrong way into a government hospital, parading yourself as a medical doctor. Not that one alone, you defied a virgin who has waited, who is still waiting. Orí wípé rú wọ Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì nǹkan ọmọ bímọ gan sàn torí tó o bá sàn ègún yẹn tó o bá bímọ ègún yẹn máa rẹ́ láti ìran kan sínú Ọlọ́run gan lòun ó bẹ̀sẹ̀ bàbá wò lára ọmọ to the 4th generation ni mo ṣe ń call on all the health sectors and all the government parastatals. When last did you screen your staffs? When last did you request for the certificate of your staffs and screen them and ascertain that they are not wrongly placed? Àwọn tí wọn ò ní qualification tó yẹ kí wọ́n fi ṣiṣẹ́ ẹ tò wọ́n sí inú ilé iṣẹ́ ẹlòmíì ò lè fìdí ìgò kan hó. You will see, it's only Nigeria that you will see a civil servant still working on having a degree, and you will see a degree holder looking for how to get a work. Everything is turned upside down. So do a certificate check. Doctors, nurses, and all public health officers, because these people, they deal directly with lives. There must be a certificate check. There are a lot of Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì watching me presently. Tó mọ̀ pé ìwé ẹ̀rí tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́ àwọn fọ́ọ̀jì ẹ̀ ni. Àwọn fọ́ọ̀jì ẹ̀ ni. There are a lot of people like that. Tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó pé wọ́n qualify fún iṣẹ́ yẹn. There are a lot of work tó yẹ pé all fields applied ni. Kò sí course tó study tó ní lè ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀. Tó bá ti máa train yẹn. Ìyẹn yàtọ̀. But when it comes to professional courses like doctor, nurse, engineer, you cannot bring anybody from any other field to function in that capacity. It cannot work. Giant of Africa in 2025. In the 2025, we still have a Wole working as a doctor in a government hospital. In this 2025, Ibeyela Shiwa, the Giant of Africa. So look at all the hospitals around you. Hope there is no Wole working there as a medical doctor. is very important. All private hospitals and clinic, they should know the work of auxiliary nurses. Àwọn nurse, àwọn auxiliary nurse, they are not nurse. Wọn kì í ṣe nurses. As a matter of fact, wọ́n máa ń bá wọ́n máa ń ban àwọn auxiliary nurse there, because before you know it they will start working in the capacity of a nurse. Ó lẹ́nìkan sọ ń sìn pé bóyá àwọn èèyàn náà ń pè ní doctor. How can people be calling you what you are not? It is your right to reject a title that you are not yet qualified to bear, or that title you don't like it. Kéèyàn kan pè ẹ́ bóyá is okay bá ṣe ń pè ní doctor tó ń dáhùn yẹn, tó bá jẹ́ pé èébú náà bú, ṣé yóò mọ dáhùn èébú yẹn? Bẹ́ẹ̀ nítorí wípé òun lè hide sábẹ́ title yẹn láti máa defile àwọn ọmọ, láti máa take advantage àwọn èèyàn, òun ló ṣe ń bí orúkọ yẹn lọ. Any title tó o bá ti fẹ́ jẹ́, o ò tí qualify láti jẹ́, kò wù ẹ́ láti jẹ́, people should not call you that title. Yeah, a lot of people will come and say, are you a pastor? I followed one of your Bible study section. I'm not a pastor, I'm just a Christian, a simple Christian. Ìní mi ò kì í ṣe pastor. Yes, mi ò kì í ṣe evangelist. I'm a Christian. I'm just a sister in the Lord. Full stop. Don't call me what I am not. Ntẹ̀yàn bá ní backup tẹ̀yàn ń jẹ́, bóyá o kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ débẹ̀, o kàwé débẹ̀, honorary ni, whatever, then you know how to do it. Bẹ́ẹ̀ wá ń pèrè ní title tó o kàwé ẹ̀, o qualify fún. Wọ́n wá gbé ẹjọ́kọ́ kalẹ̀ bí ẹṣin tí wọ́n ṣe lọ́sọ̀ọ́. O wá mú àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń define wọn. A lot of ọkùnrin báyé wọn ṣe rí nìyẹn. Ìṣekúṣe báyé wọn jẹ́, a dẹ̀ ti sọ fún yín. Kò síbi tán ti ní tán kọ́ sí pé kẹ́ ẹ má fẹ́ yàwó. Tó o bá tó gbangba sùn lọ yẹ lọ fẹ́ yàwó. Àwọn ọkùnrin gidi tó rí wọn pé wọ́n máa ń fẹ́ yàwó ní ṣùlọ́kà ni. Wọ́n máa ń fẹ́ ìyàwó ní ṣùlọ́kà ni. Bẹ̀tẹ̀ bá ti ráwọn olórí burúkú bí irú Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì yẹn tó jẹ́ wọléwọlé tó lọ ń pèrè dókítà tó ń dìfáìlì ọmọ. Tẹ́ ẹ bá ti rí àwọn olórí burúkú bíi Adéyẹmọ Ayọ̀délé, àwọn narcissist, àwọn olófo, àwọn aláyé bàjẹ́, aláyé yòrò, bó ṣe máa kápá kangaroo wọn ní nǹkan kan o. Kódà àwọn wà nínú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì gan. Even in the church, you see proud people, very arrogant. Bó ṣe máa kó garure wọn ní nǹkan kan. They don't have anything. They have never been to the four walls of classroom. They are just opportunistic. Àwọn opportunistic tó kàn jẹ́ pé irú eléyìí irú Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì báyìí nísìn. Bóyá ọmọ àwọn olóṣèlú kan ni, ọ̀nà kan ni ó ṣàgbà débẹ̀ òun, bóun ló ṣe débẹ̀. Torí kò sí nǹkan kan táwa fẹ́ ṣe l'academics tá à ní screen. Bí mo ṣe ní mo ti mark for the past 10 years tí n bá relocate kúrò níbí tí mo wá lọ another state. Mi ò lè sọ pé because I have been marking, màá lọ get scratch ni. Nígbà bá tò lẹ́yìn, wàá ṣe coordination. Tó o bá ṣe coordination gan is not a guarantee pé o máa get pasu. Ibi tó ń gbé tẹ́lẹ̀ tó ti jẹ́ regular marker yẹn, ibẹ̀ ni pasu ẹ máa dé sí for that year. Nígbà tó sì ti sí ń bẹ̀ mọ́, the pasu will be given to another person. Ibi tó relocate yẹn lọ wàá lọ get scratch. You go there with the originals of your credentials. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ rí pé o jẹ́ graduate in that subject. Because I believe pé script ẹyọ kan ọmọ ó represent life ọmọ yẹn. 1 mark ó lè cost ọmọ ní a whole year. Yes, 1 mark ìdẹ́lélẹ́yìn ó lè ran ọmọ lọ́wọ́, ọmọ tó ti rẹ̀wẹ̀sì pé òun ò fẹ́ kàwé mọ́, tóun bá tún ti fail year yìí òun ò ní lọ school mọ́. 1 mark tó bá wà careful tó waste fún ọmọ yẹn, ó lè mú kọ́ ọmọ yẹn pass subject yẹn tí ó sì wá padà wá kàwé. Toro mọ̀ tọ́mọ yẹn bóyá ó ti ṣe ní last year tí ó pass year. So we believe that a script represents the life of a candidate. So kò sí tajà tẹran irú wa ògiri wa. If you are not qualified, you cannot mark. Ìyẹn ní script paper. Ambọ̀sibọ̀sí odidi èèyàn, odidi ọmọ, tára rí ọjà tó wọ hospital. A patient can be unconscious. Tó o máa lajú báyìí lótò mọ̀ tán mọ̀ kí ọ pẹ̀lẹ́. Ọlọ́run ọba o, irú ìgbésí ayé wo la wá ní Nàìjíríà yìí? Irú country wo la wà gan náà? I don't understand. Ibo níbi ìsádi báyìí gan. Kí olórí burúkú Káyọ̀dé Oyèníyì tó jẹ́ wọléwọlé àwọn kan náà ni wọ́n ṣagbátẹrù bó ṣe dèrò hospital yẹn àyè máa pè wọlé o torí show yìí mi manage time fún rárá mo fẹ́ ṣe show yìí to the fullest ni torí mo sì máa download fídíò yìí màá fi ránṣẹ́ sí appropriate quarters. Start screening all your staffs, all the people you employed. Ṣé rí àwọn civil servants in Nigeria àfẹnutọ́ bá níbẹ̀rù Ọlọ́run láti inú ilé tẹ́ ẹ bá dé àwọn government offices yàtọ̀ fún health sector gan the way báwọn ará abẹ ṣe máa ṣe sí yín nígbà tí ò sí anybody tí ó check activity wọn 2017 ló lóun ti ṣe tán mọ yí ẹ̀ títí ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ hospital yẹn ṣé kò sí screening ni nígbà táwọn wà ní school àwọn inspector máa ń wá yes inspectors will come, they will inspect the teachers, then screen them, to check their certificate. Wọ́n lè fi odidi ọjọ́ ọ̀sẹ̀ kan wọ́n lè fi ṣe wọ́n ti jẹ́ kó bọ́ sí inú ọlúdé àwọn ọmọ ti wà lọ́lúdé they can't come during the section so that the academic of the students will not be disturbed. Ṣé báwọn kan náà design curriculum fún education kí ni curriculum kí ni òfin tó ń follow àwọn medicals tí wọléwọlé tí yóò fi wá mọ̀ di tí ọmọ ṣiṣẹ́ doctor lọ́spítù ìjọba for that matter. So even private hospital wọ́n lè employ quack o all because pé wọ́n fẹ́ sanwó but the finding of a patient kò fẹ́ lè ṣẹlẹ̀ in private hospital torí àwọn staff bẹ̀ wọ́n máa ń ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú bẹ̀rù pé individual àwọn bá ṣiṣẹ́ kí wọ́n má sáàkì àwọn ṣùgbọ́n àwọn ìjọba civil servant ní Nàìjíríà bó ṣe wù wọ́n ní ọ̀sẹ̀ máa ń ṣe torí ọ̀sẹ̀ tí ó check iṣẹ́ wọn kò sẹ́ni tí ó correct wọn kò dàbí academic tó ṣe pé lesson note ẹ̀ gan wọ́n máa kí ẹ̀ kò sí bó ṣe lọ́ọ́ ọmọ ìwé tó as a teacher there will be somebody who will mark your lesson note wọ́n á check gbogbo lesson plan everything náà máa check even when you mark a máa ń láwọn àwọn team leaders àwọn checkers wọ́n á wà they will check what you have marked you make any mistake they return the parcel to you go and remark bó o bá ti ṣe mistake lórí script kan ṣoṣo báyìí gbogbo packet ibi tó ti yọ script yẹn náà máa ní ọlọ́tún máàkì kì í ṣe gbogbo parcel o if you are a marker if you have been marking you will know the difference between a parcel and a packet. Parcel ó ní gbogbo script tó gbà tó wà nù parcel ẹ bóyá 300 script ni bóyá 200 script ni now nínú parcel yẹn the parcel is made up of different centers. Now each center ó contain the number of candidates tó ṣe exam ní center yẹn now tó bá wá mú bóyá center márùn-ún náà páàkì fún ẹ tó equivalent to the gbogbo parcel tó gbà ó wà máa mú ní packet by packet each packet is made up of the number of candidates that sat for exam in that school. Now nínú packet yẹn bóyá 30 or 60 scripts ló wà ńbẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé 60 scripts ní bẹ́ẹ̀ nínú parcel yẹn nínú packet kan ó wá máàkì team leader rẹ ó wá rọra mú bíi mẹ́ta àbí mẹ́rin láti fi check because when you start marking your team leader will be checking so wọ́n á mú sample nínú each of the packet bóyá mẹ́ta náà mú nú eléyìí wọ́n mú méjì ń bí wọ́n mẹ́ta ń bí tí wọ́n bá rí mistake lórí script kan gbogbo pákẹ́ẹ̀tì yẹn náà ni ọlọ́ọ̀rì máàkì because the idea is for you to have made mistake on one script it means you have made mistake on the script of all the candidates in that center because it's possible pé teacher kan náà ló train gbogbo wọn so point tí candidate kọ tó gbà tó lọ ṣí fún yẹn gbogbo tí wọ́n ṣe sáàmù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ ti ṣí fún nù ọlọ́rẹ̀ tún ṣe ni they scrutinize they make sure that no mistake ọlọ́run nìkan ní 100% bẹ́ẹ̀ 0.00001 error margin ìta bá ń ṣe yẹn fún script ọmọ mélòó wá ní èèyàn gidi èèyàn physical èèyàn tẹ́nìkan ọmọ tẹ́ẹ̀dì sí kọ́ ọmọ fóun lábẹ́rẹ́ wàá bìkítà ìgbésí ayé èèyàn ẹ̀kan dédé ṣàǹṣe tùrọ̀tùrọ̀ wọ́n rán èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n mọ̀ lo favorism nepotism tribalism oríṣiríṣi àwọn nǹkan Nigeria belong to all of us. irú ọmọ yìí tó ti dúró tó yẹn tó yẹ kó mọ tó encourage àwọn fellow obìnrin láti dúró fún Ọlọ́run tí ìbá ṣe pé orí ọ̀fẹ́ bá kù fún ọmọ yẹn kò ní lè work in that capacity again pé tóun fi dúró báyìí tírú nǹkan báyìí ṣẹlẹ̀ sóun ó máa wà discourage ni torí olórí burúkú kan torí pé a ní ìjọba tí ò care fún wa as a citizen. It could be anybody. So certificate check is very important. That is the main purpose for this program. Torí mo mọ̀ pé Alhaji ti handle program wọ́n ti handle case yẹn wọ́n dẹ̀ ti sọ pé in fact àwọn ọlọ́pàá Ọ̀yọ́ state gan wọ́n ní wọ́n ti ní àwọn group kan tí wọ́n monitor kọ́kọ́rọ́ alátẹ wọ́n ti ní àwọn group kan tó pé kọ́kọ́rọ́ alátẹ náà monitor any case that has to do with a criminal offence straight to jail ni. So ìyẹn that one has been transferred to the appropriate quarters but the remaining people like him tó sì wà ní government hospital tó kọ́ máa ṣe head count lọ́dọọdún àbí every 2 years kọ́ máa ṣe head count kọ́ máa ṣe certificate screening ká lè mọ̀ pé àwọn tá a lọ ń tẹ́ra wálẹ̀ fún abẹ́rẹ́ fún drip they are qualified people. Fish out the unscrupulous ones, the ones that are unscrupulous, the ones that are unqualified, screen them out. All the healthcare professionals that you have employed for the past 20 years, screen them. Screen out the unscrupulous ones and the ones that are not qualified for the tax that is given to them. Àwọn doctor míì náà ẹ rí wọn torí pé wọ́n ti ní private hospital tiwọn wọ́n ní tọ́jú patients they will keep referring that patient to their own private hospital and they are collecting salary lọ́wọ́ ìjọba. Alhaji ń bi olóbùkún ìléèrè pé ṣé ó sì ń fún yín ní salary gẹ́gẹ́ bí doctor ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni he was being paid as a doctor. You know tọ́rọ̀ bá ṣẹlẹ̀ hierarchy lèèyàn máa tó sí the fact that he was paid yẹn gan is not even as much as the damage he has caused. Damage tó ti cause tó bá wà HIV positive fún sí what will be the fate of this girl if that Oyeniyi Kayode is HIV positive kí ló máa jẹ́ fate ọmọ ọlọ́mọ who has kept herself and refused to mingle with the world and refused to be involved in immorality. Àwọn ọkùnrin míì okó wọn ló ń control wọn okó abẹ́ wọn lè pa mọ́ wọn lè pa okó yẹn mọ́ wọ́n ti wá di oníranù tó jẹ́ pé ọmọ kékeré ò ṣeé fi ti ọkùnrin míì ń gbò jẹ́ wípé ní ìgbéraga ò jẹ́ kán lè fẹ́ yàwó ẹni tí ò bá fẹ́ ìyàwó tí ò bóbìnrin gbé ó gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ẹni tó lóye tó gbọ́n tó lẹ́mìí ìfẹ́ tó lẹ́mìí ìpamọ́ra tó ní sùúrù all these things fruit of the spirit yẹn wọ́n ní so wọ́n wà lọ́mọ defile àwọn ọmọ ọdún kan àwọn ọmọ ọdún méjì irú wọn náà máa ń fẹ́ yàwó tíyàwó ọmọ forí ṣe fọrùn ṣe fún wọn láti remain nínú ilé wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìyàwó orí burúkú náà máa ṣe síyàwó yẹn wọ́n á frustrate ayé ìyàwó yẹn tó fi máa kúrò nínú ilé wọn nígbà tí wọ́n bá ń lé ìyàwó lọ wọn ní rántí pé ọkọ ń bẹ ní abẹ́ àwọn tó máa le tó máa nídìí obìnrin jọ kan wọn ní rántí yẹn wọ́n wà máa defile ọmọ káàkiri anybody tó bá defile ọmọdé ó máa kú sí ẹ̀wọ̀n ni àfi tírú àwa yóò bá gbọ́ àfi tá a bá gbọ́ àtọmọdé o àtàgbà o anybody that is defiled send the case to us we will send it to the appropriate quarters. Ṣó yẹ kó máa jẹ́ pé hospital níbi tí a ti ń gba ìwòsàn tá à ń pè ní ilé ìwòsàn lédè Yorùbá ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ló yẹ kí wọ́n tún ti lọ ọmọ compound ìṣòro ọmọ ọlọ́mọ ara ọmọ ọ̀yá ó lọ fún ìtọ́jú báwo ń wọléwọlé ṣe di doctor lọ́spítù ìjọba tó bá ṣe private hospital wọ́n ní kó ti hospital ń pa torí wípé ẹni tó ní ọ̀fẹ́ sanwó doctor gidi ló ṣe lọ gbàgbàkúgbà síbẹ̀ àìmọye doctor tí ò parí iléèwé tí ò graduate tẹ́gbẹ́ bá 400 level náà ti rusticate yẹ yóò wà package ara ẹ̀ as a doctor private hospital náà máa ń gbà wọ́n torí tó bá ṣiṣẹ́ government hospital gan after you have submitted your certificate they will go to your school and go and request for your transcripts. They will go there at your back without they want to know if you have record in that school. Bóyá o ní record ní school yẹn bóyá o tó lọ tiẹ̀ graduate bóyá rusticate yẹn gan ni bóyá you never graduated from that university they will go and investigate. Kò sí yẹ̀ tó parí your transcript will be in an online ó máa wà níbẹ̀. Àìmọye tí ò ní sáti kódà nínú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì èmi rẹ́yàn tó jẹ́ wípé ní sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tó àtọ́kọ́ ẹ fi ṣèyàwó ó ní ọkọ ń lò pẹ̀lú obìnrin míì láti lọ ordain nínú church gẹ́gẹ́ bí pastor ńbẹ̀. Yes, ìyá kan ló dàrin wọn rú, ó ní òun ò láìkì àwọn tó bá wá láti ìlú wọn, ó sì ti bímọ méjì, ìyá kan dẹ̀ dà wọ́n rú, wọn jà wọn ṣe kan. Ìgbà tí wọ́n scatter, ìgbà yẹn lọ́kọ́ tó lọ school of pastor, wọ́n dẹ̀ fẹ́ ordain rẹ̀. Bíbélì sì sọ pé ẹni tán bá fi sórí ìjọ kó jọ kwaya kan, ẹni ọba níjọ tiẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tán fẹ́ yàn sórí ìjọ. Paul sọ fún Timothy pé gbọ́dọ̀ jọ kwaya kan. Òun àti ìyàwó òsìsì pọ̀ mọ́, ó ló wá bẹ̀rùn gan ni pé kò ń dákun kó ó yọ̀ǹda certificate, ṣàmọ̀ pé certificate registry obìnrin náà máa ń fún. Ó lóun wá bí mọ́mí òun léèrè, mọ́mí òun wá ní ọmọ dáadáa ni tí ìbá kúkú ṣe yẹ́ ẹ̀ tó da àárín yín rú, ṣebí kò sí ọ̀ fún un, ó ní bóun ṣe fún un nìyẹn. Ó wá lọ rè fẹ́ ìyàwó, ó wá ní kí àkọ́bí òun tó jí ọkùnrin kó wá bóun àti ìyàwó yẹn gbé fún bí oṣù méjì, kó máa pè ìyàwó òun mọ́mì, kí àjọ kán lè rò pé ìyàwó òun ló bí fún òun. Sàtífíkẹ̀tì náà fi ọ̀dẹ́ rẹ̀ dàrọ́ yìí, wọ́n àdẹ̀ mọ̀ pé orúkọ tí ń bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kì í sorúkọ woman tán jọ ń gbé yìí. Mo ní dáná ńgbà tẹ́yìn wá lọ remarry as a second wife, ìyálé tẹ́ remarry sí lọ́dọ̀ ó ti pa ọkọ jẹ fún yín nísìn, ẹ ní padà sọ́dọ̀ first husband yín. Ó ní kọ́mọ́dà bíi pé òun ṣoore tán òun lóṣòtì. Mo ní ṣé èyí tẹ́ wá ń ṣe yìí lọ́dà, ìyẹn sì wà ń bẹ̀ tí ń fẹ́ lá. And the church felt that the certificate that he's using to do his pastor work was the marriage he did with this woman, this mommy pastor rẹ̀, because nobody knows that he has been married before. So gbogbo ọ̀tá ń lo fake certificate ṣiṣẹ́, kò síbi tí wọn ò sí, wọ́n wà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì gan, wọ́n wà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì. Ibi táwọn lè ti pọ̀ sí ibẹ̀ ní school, because a teacher that cannot speak good English, a teacher that does not understand the subject matter can never strive well in a school. Academics náà lè ti pọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ́ lọ́dà ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ nujọ́ mẹ́ta ìnáná rí fake lawyer kan, lawyer ni tí sì ń gbọ́ sọ lawyer tí ń dé wíìgì, kò sì lọ law school, kò study náà, kò lọ law school gan. Ìgbà wo lẹ fẹ́ ṣe gbogbo yẹn dà? Impersonation, character assassination. Téèyàn ọba ní certificate fún, kí lẹ́yìn ọmọ péré ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sí? Kí lẹ́yìn ọmọ péré ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ sí? Wọ́n sọ fún màdámù yẹn, mo ní ẹ má wulẹ̀ sunkún torí ẹni tán fẹ́ yìí, ẹni yìí nífẹ̀ẹ́ wọn gan, bẹ̀ torí wàhálà ẹ̀mọ̀ orogún and co limited. Nígbà mo sáà rí pé ara wọn ti relax díẹ̀díẹ̀, mo ṣáà ń béèrè wọn everyday, màá tún díẹ̀ mú wọn bó ní iṣẹ́ wà lálàáfíà nǹkan kan, torí ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì tọkọ yẹn ti kú, wọn mọ̀ pọ́kọ yẹn kú, wọ́n sì yẹn expect ẹ̀ lọ́dọ̀ wọn, torí yóò wọ́dọ̀ wọn, yóò lọ́dọ̀ yálé, yóò wọ́dọ̀ wọn, yóò so time tó lọ resume sọ́dọ̀ yálé, time tó yẹ kó dọ́dọ̀ wọn ti tó, àṣọ ti kú tán mọ̀, ara rí òyà, ìyálé yẹn wá wọ gámẹ́ǹtì fún, ó wọ sùtánà fún, ó sì bó pa tó fi kú. Wọ́n ti sin tán jẹ́ àbúrò ọkọ náà wá sẹ́ǹdì fídíò bí tán ti ń sìn náà sẹ́ǹdì ẹ̀sìn woman yìí. Mo wá ní gbogbo wọn tán ń ṣàdúrà sí lára yìí, ṣé ẹ̀ẹ̀mọ̀ kankan nu wọn láwọn ọmọ kankan o, wọ́n ń sunkún ní sá. Létà náà wá ẹsẹ̀ wàá sọ fún mi pé àwọn kúkú ti married, tí marriage àwọn dẹ̀ beautiful gan, náà wá fún mi ní story. Mo ní ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ padà lọ ọbẹ̀, ṣé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tọkọ yín fẹ́ náà mọ̀ pé tó ń fẹ́ ti níyàwó rí, kálukú òdúró ẹ̀ lọ́tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni, nígbà tí ṣe pé yóò kó pọ̀ sínú ilé, àwọn ò fẹ́ bá sẹ́ẹ̀rànṣẹ́ ẹ̀jẹ̀ kìnìún. Mo ní so ní fi ń so certificate tó fi fẹ́ ẹ̀yin ló wá fi lọ present ní church, ló wá mélé ilé ṣé lẹ́yìn tó fẹ́ ilé gbà, sóun lè gbà kí wọ́n fi certificate náà fi fẹ́ òun lọ present pẹ̀lú omi náà fi certificate, so the name on the certificate bears the name of this first woman, whereby this one is the one standing as a wife. Bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn bá fẹ́ yàwó méjì mẹ́ta kò sí tó kọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń bẹ̀, bẹ̀t kálukú maintain lẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹni. Nísìnyí tẹ́ wá lọ remarry tí gbogbo eléyìí tún ti ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìnyí, ṣé ẹ ní get your mind together and look for how to do kúkú jà, so a lè pè ní reconciliation nígbà tí ṣe pé ẹ jà. Ṣé ìyá ọkọ yín yẹn kò mọ̀ wípé ìlú ilẹ̀ ti wá tẹ́lẹ̀ kẹ́ kán tó wá fẹ́ yín ní ṣùlọ́kà nílé yín? Ní tí mo fẹ́ fàyọ́ bẹ̀ ni pé all the people using fake certificates to work, they must be screened, and it is not in hospital alone, ibẹ̀ ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, ibẹ̀ ní àwọn all other government of, ibẹ̀ ní ministry, ẹlòmíì ò jáde iléèwé. So Oyèníyì Káyọ̀dé ni orúkọ máa yẹn, wọléwọlé ni, wọléwọlé, ó dẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ di dókítà ní ilé ìwòsàn ìjọba. Torí ẹ̀ ni la ṣe ń call upon all all the CMDs, chief medical directors in all general hospitals, the commissioner for health Kwara State, ẹgbẹ́ tó bá mọ commissioner for health ti Kwara State ẹ bá ń tẹ̀sí comment section ẹ bá ń táàgì wọn. Hospital yẹn wà ní Òró ní Kwara, ibẹ̀ ni hospital yẹn wà níbi tí wọléwọlé títí ń ṣiṣẹ́ ń bẹ̀ as a medical doctor tí sì ń gba sálárì lọ́wọ́ ìjọba. Medical doctor gidi tí ó competent tí wọ́n mọ̀ ṣẹ́ wọn ò rí bí lọ ń gbà wọn ọmọ èèyàn. It is high time for us as a country to go back to the right path. Ká padà sí ẹsẹ̀ àárọ̀ where things are being done rightly, where people are being recruited on merit, not on nepotism or favoritism, but on merit. That is it. When you see a brilliant student, you don't manipulate things on them. Lecturer tó bá mọṣẹ́ student gan mọ̀ pọ̀ ga ìmọ̀ṣẹ́ yìí wọ́n ní fẹ́ mọ̀ mí sí class yẹn ó lè strict o, because most of our lecturers are very disciplined and strict. But tó o bá ti jẹ́ obedient student, in fact you will succeed. Tó o bá ti jẹ́ ọmọ tó gbọ́ràn tó múra síṣẹ́. Iníṣẹ́ ń ká mi lára lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọmọ yìí, ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé kò kí ń ṣe onírìn àrè ni, kò kí ń ṣe ọmọ dáradára, ọmọ tó parẹ́ mọ̀ fọ́lọ́hun tó dúró pé òun ò ní gbára òun lẹ́fẹ̀ẹ́ tí ọ̀fẹ́ òun tó lórí burúkú kan tó dàbí èrè. Tẹ́ bá ti rí bó ṣe rí lágídí ìgbógan ẹ ti mọ̀ wípé eléyìí ayé rí kò jìnnà sí tó lórí ibú tó irú monster yẹn tí ọmọ ọlọ́mọ wá lọ fọ́ọ̀lù sọ́wọ́ ọrú ẹ̀, all because she finds herself in a country that does not value protocols. Because tá bá ń follow protocol ni wọléwọlé ibo ló ṣó fẹ́ gùn yẹn fò wá sí inú hospital ni. Somebody who does not even have first degree or masters, let alone PhD, báwo ló ṣe find ara ẹ̀ níwájú àwọn university students as a lecturer? Kí ló fẹ́ wí ní tó ń gbà tó bá débẹ̀? What did you want to say? You don't even have a master's degree in that subject. Kí ló fẹ́ sọ? Ni mo ṣe ní tó bá jẹ́ academics ni kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀, àṣírí ti máa tú. O lè function in the capacity of a lecturer if you have not had at least master's degree or even first degree. Àwọn graduate assistants yẹn gan is either you have a first class or 2-1. Me dey feel kan recruit to graduate assistants mọ́ sí. Assistant lecturer ni and the minimum is masters, and you must be very sound because the students you are coming to face Gen Z ni wọ́n, they even some of them will even prove that they know better than you. So wọléwọlé ò lè wá máa play role medical doctor, kò lè possible, kò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ l'academics field. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, because professors are the ones that will screen you. Kí ló ń gbé bọ̀ tán rírí, kí ló fẹ́ sọ tán gbọ́ rí. So it is so sad. Ẹ mọ̀ fídíò yẹn ó ń dùn mí gan, mi fẹ́ play ẹ̀ torí as much as téèyàn bá ti ń play ẹ̀ báyìí yóò tún máa jẹ́ kí ìbànújẹ́ yẹn kó tún ru sókè. I just pray that God Almighty will heal the wound of this girl. Kí Ọlọ́run kó bá wa heal wound ẹ̀ both physically and even spiritually, even mentally. God Almighty will heal her. Her name is withheld for security purpose, which is good. And we pray that wherever she is, Ọlọ́run á bá wa heal wound ẹ̀, and God will help her, and uphold her to still continue to maintain that standard. It's good to wait. It's good to wait, just that it is quite unfortunate. Bó lọ bọ́ sọ́wọ́ monster yẹn ẹ̀wọ̀n ló dẹ̀ máa kú sí, torí Alhaji ti sọ pé táwọn bọ́lúwa ti ń bẹ tẹ́mi ẹ̀ wà táwọn ń jẹ́ Oríyọmí kò ní bọ́ nínú ẹ̀wọ̀n yẹn ní ọmọkùnrin. Ẹ wá dúró wọn tí ó ti ṣerú iṣẹ́ láàbí sí. Ìyí gan ṣe bá OPC tán lọ́mọ ń lọ bá ṣé bọ́n ti pa ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn mọ́lẹ̀. Àwa náà tá a jẹ́ pàtí ẹ̀ ní píláfọ́ọ̀mù tá a lè fi reach out sí èèyàn, àwa náà dákẹ́ à ń sọ̀rọ̀ mí sí. A lot of things are wrong. Wọ́n ní the necessary screening must be done in all government institutions. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni necessary screening must be done. Bẹ́ẹ̀ tí nígbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tó ń bọ̀ wá ṣe screening gangan ti gbàbọ̀dè fún orílẹ̀-èdè. Ẹni tí ń gba bribe orílẹ̀-èdè ní gbàbọ̀dè fún. Kì í ṣe innocent person yẹn gan nìkan ló ń gbàbọ̀dè fún. Ó ń gbàbọ̀dè fún orílẹ̀-èdè gan. Is it not a slap on our face as the giant of Africa? When a sanitation officer is acting in the capacity of a medical doctor ṣé àwọn other countries gbọ́dọ̀ gbọ́ ni kí la ń portray image country wa kí la fẹ́ kí èèyàn máa fi ápè gẹ́gẹ́ bí orílẹ̀-èdè bára èèyàn ọ̀bá yá hospital náà láàní ó lọ go to the hospital tóra àti fẹ̀mí balẹ̀ pé àwọn doctors wọ́n bẹ̀ that they are capable only for a patient to be unconscious you drugged her you injected her she became unconscious and you defied her a virgin a final year student who has waited in this corrupt world ni mo sọ fún un pé kó má wulẹ̀ bí ọmọ gbogbo ọmọ tó bá fokó ẹ̀ bí gbogbo wọn pátápátá ẹ̀san ìwà burúkú tó wù yóò mọ̀ ké lórí àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ tó kó rọra lọ ju sẹ́wọ̀n kó dẹ̀ rọ́tìn síbẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí àtọ́hún àti gbogbo ìrandíran rẹ̀ pátápátá gbogbo wọn ni wọ́n jìyà ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tó ṣẹ̀ ni wọ́n jìyà ìwà iṣẹ́ ibi tó wù yẹn. Solzy mama wọ́n ní ṣebí she has left before and went somewhere else if the man didn't die he would have still been his side chick why would she now go back to her first husband who has moved on. mo rò pórí yín ò pé mo rò pórí burúkú fẹ́ sọ gẹlẹ́gùn gbá yín Solzy mama mo rò pọ́n ṣe pè fún yín mo rò pọ́n ṣe pè fún yín ṣé tó bá jẹ́ yín ni ṣẹ́yìn lè gbarú rẹ̀ because she has moved on obìnrin tó move on pẹ̀lú ìyẹn ò mọ̀ pé ẹni tó ń fẹ́ ti níyàwó rí kò mọ̀ pé ẹni tó ń fẹ́ ti níyàwó rí àbí sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tán fi lọ ọ̀dẹ̀ wọn as pastor mrs ṣé òun náà fi sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì yẹn fẹ́ kò ṣe sọ pé kọ́kọ́ lọ divorce eléyìí kó fẹ́ òun náà lẹ́gálẹ̀ kó lè fi sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tiẹ̀ orí olórí ló ń lò náà orí olórí ló ń lò orúkọ tó wà nínú rẹ́gí sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì tó fún tó tẹ́ńdà ní ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì tó fi ọ̀dẹ̀ wọn orúkọ ọ̀tọ̀ ni ọkọ ló yẹ kó ti jẹ́wọ́ pé tó òun ti níyàwó kan rí tẹ́lẹ̀ o bẹ̀ ìyá òun ló ba márèjì jẹ́ òun àtìyàwó òun yẹn ò jà tó bá jẹ́ pọ́n jà ni kò ní gbé sàtífíkẹ́ẹ̀tì yẹn lẹ̀ fún un pé kàn fi ọ̀dẹ̀ ní as pastor if the woman is a bad person mo wá ní kó lọ ṣe rí kó padà síbẹ̀ tó bá lè padà ẹ wá ní kí ló dé tí mo fi ní ó padà ṣe bó ti move on ṣe bó náà move on ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó fẹ́ kú ni irọ́ ta ni ò ṣàìmọ̀ wípé ìgbà téèyàn ẹni tó ibi tó lọ yẹn ṣé ibẹ̀ wù lọ ni kí ló dé tẹ́ni tó ọ̀dẹ́ ń ṣe parọ́ èmi tẹ́mi ń sọ fún yín ni pé à ń fi fake certificate ṣiṣẹ́ yìí it everywhere o lèmi ṣe sọ story yẹn kẹ́ẹ̀tọ́ wa mọ̀ sọ wípé kí lé tí mo fi ní ó padà kí lé tí ò lè padà if the husband still want her a mọ̀ ṣe pọ́n jà ni ṣé tán bá jà ṣé yóò gbé certificate ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀fún kan fi ordain ẹ̀ as a pastor eléyìí tó ń tẹ̀lé kiri náà tó lòun ní ìyàwó rẹ̀ tó lòun jórúkọ tí ń bẹ nínú certificate ṣóun náà fi certificate ṣóun náà fi fẹ́ ṣóun ló ní registry yẹn ṣóun ní ṣé tó bá jẹ́yìn ni woman ṣẹ́yìn ó gbé certificate yín lẹ̀ kán fi lọ ordain ní obìnrin míì as mọ́mí pastor ṣẹ́yìn lè ṣe wọ́n wá ní ọmọ padà tí bẹ́ẹ̀ ò bá wù padà sí tàbí tọkọ náà wò pé common spoil ministry òun is a different thing àìmọye ìyàwó tán ti lọ gan for years tọkọ tún gbà wọn padà so that's not even the point ẹ kóra yín dà sọ́hùn so kí ni mo fẹ́ play ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ bá mi fi sí comment section ṣé kí n play video yẹn àbí kí n má play aim mi mo ti achieve ẹ my aim is to create awareness that all the people in the health sectors of Nigeria they should screen all the staff they employed wọ́n ní kí n play ẹ̀ okay so ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní YouTube mo máa stop yín so that orí fóònù yẹn ni fídíò yẹn wà.